On the record in case number 24-CRI-001, case is captioned State of Ohio versus Christopher Ferrell. We're scheduled today for bonds and a complaint filed in court in the state, that being January 2nd, 2024. We're conducting this hearing by video. State of Ohio is represented by prosecuting attorney Christopher Tennell. The defendant is also present. Mr. Ferrell, do you have any objection to the court conduct this hearing by video?
No objection at all, sir.
And again, for the record, you received a copy of the complaint.
Yes, sir, I have.
There's 2 counts. I'm going to go through them with you just to make sure that you understand the charges. Count 1 charges cruelty to companion animals, a felony of the 5th degree. Count 1 states in that on or about December 29, 2023 through December 30, 2023, National County, Ohio, Christopher Ferrell did not only cause serious physical harm to a companion animal, to wit a cat. Sir, do you understand what's being alleged in count 1?
Yes, sir, I do.
Count 2 charges unlawful possession of dangerous ordnance. That's a felony of the 5th degree. Count 2 states in that on or about December 30, 2023, National County, Ohio, Christopher Ferrell did not only acquire, have, carry, or use any dangerous ordnance, to its sawed-off break-action shotgun with 18.25-inch barrel. Sir, do you understand count 2?
Yes, sir, I do. But that sawed-off shotgun was not mine. I let a neighbor.
Sir, as far as I just want to make sure that you understand what they're alleging you did. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
During the course of these proceedings, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in future court hearings. You also have the right to be represented by an attorney. If you don't think you can afford to hire an attorney, the court will consider you for court-appointed counsel. If you qualify, the court will appoint an attorney to represent you in this case. There's a $25 fee for court-appointed counsel. Further, sir, since you're charged with a felony offense by complaint, you have the right to a preliminary hearing. That's a court hearing during which the state would have to establish with the court that there's probable cause for the charges, in this case, for the case to continue. And finally, you do have the right to a jury trial, which means you have the right to require the state of Ohio to prove your guilt by evidence beyond a reasonable doubt to 12 jurors on both counts. Sir, do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
So you are charged with 2 felony offenses. Do you want to be represented by an attorney in this case?
Yes, sir, I would.
Can you afford to hire one, or should we consider you for court-appointed counsel?
I need a court-appointed counsel, sir.
What's your date of birth?
Disability from the Marine Corps.
Okay. Is that SSI or SSD, sir?
Neither. It's just a disability from the Marine Corps.
Okay. Are you employed, sir?
No, sir, I'm not.
The last 30 days, you have had any income whatsoever?
Just my disability check to pay for rent.
Okay. How much is that per month, sir?
My rent is $490 a month.
Okay. And how much is your disability check?
They just gave me a raise. It was $505.
Okay. We are going to set up bond today. Mr. Tennell, what's the state's position on bond?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the court should be advised that this is a situation that occurred, or it was the Ashland Police Department was alerted to on December 30th of this year. Their concerned citizens approached some on-duty officers to advise that they found an injured cat in the dumpster that had been taped into a litter box. The cat was alive, but was clearly injured and in trouble. The Ashland Police Department contacted the cat sanctuary, who facilitated a veterinary visit at Spring Meadow Veterinary Clinic. There, the veterinarian examined the animal and found that it was suffering from significant blunt force trauma to its head. It's believed that it was shot in the head with a pellet gun, based on the size of the entry wound between its eyes, as well as metal fragments that were found subsequently in the body. The cat was also suffering from hypothermia and other conditions relating from exposure from having been left in the dumpster. The veterinary felt that the animal had been in the dumpster for upwards of 12 hours prior to it being rescued. The vet felt that the injuries to the animal were such that the animal was not going to be able to recover, and was experiencing significant suffering. So the animal was euthanized. One of the on-duty Ashland Police Department officers thought she recognized the cat from having prior contact with Mr. Ferrell at his residence, and reviewed body cam that had captured the cat on camera. The cat appeared to be the same. That led them to Mr. Ferrell. Mr. Ferrell, after some significant time denying that anything happened and then providing a false story about not having the cat, not knowing where it went, did eventually admit that he stomped the cat with steel-toed boots, wrapped painter's tape around the enclosed litter box in which he had put the animal, and then dumped the cat still alive in the dumpster. He denied shooting the cat. Mr. Ferrell's firearms, of which there were several, were located by the officers, as well as a pellet gun, and taken into custody as evidence pending the investigation relating to the shooting of the cat. And during that portion of the investigation, found the aforementioned sawed-off shotgun to be in his possession. The states would further advise that the defendant's criminal history relates exclusively to OVIs. Per OLEG, there appear to be 5 prior OVI convictions. I believe almost all of them, if not all, are in Ashland. We would ask for the court's standard conditions. We would further ask that the defendant not be in possession of any firearms, including air rifles, that he not be in possession of any or in charge or taking care of any animals whatsoever, that he be subject to GPS monitoring, to random drug and alcohol screens, and $50,000 cash for surety bond, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ferrell, as far as today, the court's only setting bond, court's not addressing the merits of the charges. Again, you do have the right to remain silent. Sir, is there anything you want to tell me before I set bond today? You do not have to.
No, sir.
So the court's going to set bond as follows. Be released while the case is pending. I'll have to post 2 bonds. First bond is a personal reconnaissance bond. That's your written promise to the court to appear for all future hearings. If you would fail to appear for a hearing, be prosecuted for a separate felony offense called failure to appear. That's a felony of the 4th degree. In addition to this case, courts also require you to post the bond amount of $25,000. That can be posted with a surety bond, cash bond, or real estate posting. If you post bond, you're subject to the following conditions. 1, you're not to leave the state of Ohio while the case is pending. 2nd, you must appear for all future hearings in this case. 3rd, you must keep the court advised of your address and phone number at all times. 4th, you must obey all laws and orders of the court. 5th, you're not to use, consume, or possess any alcohol or drugs of abuse. You're obviously subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your own expense. So you're not to be in possession of THC of any kind while the case is pending. Further, sir, as part of bond, you'll have to enroll in the court's drug and alcohol testing program. Further, sir, if you do post bond, you will be subject to GPS monitoring. What that means, sir, if you post bond or bill select the GPS monitor, you have to wear that while this case is pending. While you're on GPS monitoring, a curfew must be at your approved residence during the hours of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Further, sir, as part of GPS monitoring, you have to post a $500 deposit for the monitor. That'll be refunded at the conclusion of the case if you return the monitor to the court in good working condition. Further, sir, as a condition of bond, you're not to be in possession of any animals while the case is pending. And finally, sir, as a condition of bond, you're not to be in possession of any firearms or any weapons whatsoever, such as air rifles, while the case is pending. Sir, do you understand the condition of bond?
Yes, sir. But what do I gotta pay to get out of jail? Because I don't have the money, and I don't think my folks have the money.
I've set bond at $25,000. There's no 10% option. So you'd either have to post the $25,000 or you could hire a bondsman, but I don't know what they charge.
I don't even know how to do that, Your Honor.
We're going to schedule your case for a hearing fairly quickly, so you can talk to Attorney One more about that. Mr. Tell, would your office be available tomorrow at 2:30 for an initial appearance hearing?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ferrell, your next court hearing is going to be tomorrow, January 3, 2024 at 2:30 p.m. We're going to do that by video. If you do post bond before then, just come to our courthouse, come to the top floor. Again, tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. We'll make sure you have computer access. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tell, anything further today?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. We're adjourned.
Recording in progress.
On the record in case number 24-CRI-001, cases captioned State of Ohio versus Christopher Ferrell. We're scheduled today for initial hearing on the complaint filed the court on January 2nd, 2024. We're conducting this hearing by video. State of Ohio is represented by prosecuting attorney Christopher Tennell, but is also present represented by attorney Greg Tarkowski. Mr. Ferrell, do you have any objection to the court conduct this hearing by video?
No, sir.
Mr. Ferrell, for the record, the court previously appointed attorney Chong Wan to represent in this case. He's notified us that he's not available this week. Since we have certain time restrictions we have to meet for a felony complaint, I'm going to vacate the appointment of attorney Wan and appoint attorney Tarkowski to represent in this case. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
We'll give you a chance to speak with him privately before we proceed further, so we'll take a short recess.
It is now time for lockdown. It is now time for lockdown. All may say return yourselves, return your bunks. It is now time for lockdown. Return yourselves, return your bunks.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Not a problem. At the jail, do you have a waiver preliminary hearing form in case they need that?
There's not one back here that I see, but we can definitely get one.
I'll open up a breakout room for attorney Tarkowski and Mr. Ferrell.
Recording in progress.
Back on the record in case number 24-CRI-001, counsel and defendant are all present. Mr. Tarkowski, you may proceed with your arraignment on the complaint, sir.
Sure. We'd like to acknowledge receipt of the complaint. We'll waive any defects with time, manner, or service. We'll waive a reading. We'll waive an explanation of the penalties, and we'll enter a not guilty plea. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Court will accept the not guilty, please. Mr. Tarkowski, what's your client's position as far as preliminary hearing?
Sure. I've talked to my client about the issue. He's indicating he's willing to waive his right to a preliminary hearing. I went over the form with him there at the jail. He signed the form already.
Okay. At the jail, can you please unmute your microphone? Mr. Ferrell, for the record, do you understand the charges against you, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you understand your right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand your right to a preliminary hearing?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the waiver of preliminary hearing form?
Yes, sir.
Anyone make any promises or threats against you to waive your right to a preliminary hearing?
No, sir.
Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs today?
No, sir.
And for the record, you're waiving your right to a preliminary hearing. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
You've signed the waiver of preliminary hearing form. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
Course accepting the waiver, finding it was entered knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently. Based upon the waiver, the court's orient this matter be bound over to the Ashland County Grand Jury for its consideration. Would counsel be available on January 16, 2024 in the morning for a further appearance hearing?
Judge, I'm actually out that week until the 19th.
Okay.
I believe I have a number of things scheduled with the court on the 22nd or any other time that week. I could probably make it work.
Okay. Are you also out on the 19th? Or are you back then?
No, I'll be back the 19th.
Okay. Would January 19th at 1 o'clock work for you?
That works.
Just to know, would that work for the state?
No, Your Honor. It looks like we have a suppression hearing at that time.
Mr. Tarkowski, what about 11:30 on the 19th?
That works as well.
Mr. Chanel, would that work for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll schedule the further appearance hearing for Friday, January 19, 2024 at 11:30 a.m. We'll do that by video. Mr. Tarkowski, anything further we can address today, sir?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Chanel, anything further today?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all. We're adjourned. At the jail, please send the waiver over to Alyssa.
Yes, sir. We'll get a fax number.
All right, thank you all.